What is happening, mediocre people of YouTube? Well, I'm getting ready to pull the chassis on this, which is going to be something, because I don't even know how I'm going to get these knobs off. I don't know what this thing's doing, but I thought just for shits and giggles, before I pull the chassis, hook it up to the Variac and give it a little power and see what happens, or if anything happens. I'll bring it up. Like, there's 32 volts on it. Let me put this light off here. And by the way, yeah, right now this Charvel is just blowing my mind, and I'm totally all about the Katana too. It's just incredible. I've been busy. It's I don't know, day after Christmas. As you guys can see, I'm kind of getting some things organized around here a little bit better. So let's just bring this up. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're at 62 volts right now. Not pulling a lot of current, so that's a good thing. I don't really know if there's no on-off switch here or anything like that. These were to change channels at one time. I do hear something. I hear something, so I am hearing something from it, from the speaker here. We're at 78 volts right now. Not pulling a whole bunch of current, so that's good. Thing of it is I can't even change the stations here because these knobs are just totally blown out here. Now this, I don't even know how it is lit up. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's bring it up to 120 or about thereabouts. Like I say, the good news is we're not pulling a whole bunch of crazy current, which is always a good sign. I do have some, we'll leave it 118, that's close enough. So she's lighting up. We've got light. Let's see if we can even see anything back here at all. You guys see anything? Oh, we've got tubes lighting up. I don't know if you guys are seeing any of that, but definitely got tubes lighting up. But pretty much what I expected. It's nice to know that something's coming out of the speaker. So that's where we're at for the moment. We'll go ahead and turn it back down, and I gotta take this chassis out of here and see where we're at. So we are going into the Zenith radio restoration. So now that we've tested it on the Variac, I just want to get some documentation here of things, because I need to get this chassis out of here, and I don't know what's going on with this thing here. The guy said he put this in here because apparently something broke off. There's a set screw around that side, so we got to pull this knob off before we pull this chassis out. I want to get some documentation of where this plug is and what wires are going where, in case it plugs in more than one way. The speaker cable, and then this thing I can disconnect. So that's where we're at. Like I said, as far as I know, this thing has never been touched, but now I'm a little concerned because there was only two bolts up in the chassis up in there. So anyway, let's pull it out of here and put it up on the bench, see what's what. Alright, so these all had little set screws on them. in order to get off. And let's see. What is gonna go on up in here? I wonder if all that stuff's attached to the chassis or what the deal is. We'll see. Let me get these things unplugged and figure out where we're going from there. Yep, so here's where things are going to get interesting. And I need to get some documentation of this, because these wires here have to come off. So I may stop rolling the camera. This looks like red and white, brown, and maybe a green and white, and this is a black. It's like a rubber coated wire. That's weird. So there. I think, oh god, these wires are kind of degrading too. I can look back on this video footage to see what goes where. Alright, and over here, I don't know. Is there connectors up there, or is this shit all soldered on here? It looks like it might possibly be. So maybe I can pop this out on this side, pop that one out instead, and bring it through. Hope you guys are seeing what I'm talking about here. Yeah. Back's killing me. If I remember right, somebody told me these actually pop off somehow or another. Oh, I see it. I see it. And they do. And I should be able to. Well, it was a pretty cool little design there, so you don't have to take those wires off. Got like a little lock where you can. I'm going to have to pause just for a sec.
In describing people, Detective Furman, do you use the word nigger?
No, sir. I do not use that word to describe people.
Have you ever used the word nigger in the past 10 years?
Not that I recall, no.
You mean if you called someone a nigger, you have forgotten it?
I'm not sure I can answer the question the way that you phrased it, sir.
Let me put it simply. Are you saying under oath that you have not addressed any black person as a nigger, or spoken about black people as niggers in the past 10 years, Detective Furman?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my God, this is insane.
Can you say the word nigger on TV?
So that anyone who comes to this court and quotes you as using that word in dealing with African Americans would be a liar. Would they not, Detective Furman?
Yes, they would.
All of them, correct?
All of them.
Thank you.
So, as you guys saw, that's a pretty cool design. I actually didn't have to take these wires out. It's actually designed to, let me find a spot for these knobs. It's designed so that this little guy just kind of has a little locking mechanism right there, and it comes right off and you can slip it through the front. You know, I'm guessing these tubes are going to have to be replaced. Maybe not. I'll have them all tested. Got a lot of 7J7s. Or no, not a lot, but there's a 7J7. Some kind of capacitor here. Whole bunch of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tubes. 7A6, 707. That's 7, no, that's 7C7, I believe. Yeah, and I'm guessing they're probably all pretty well shot. Let's flip this thing over and see what it looks like. Wow. 1941. 1941, 1942 they built this model. All the old wax capacitors, and there's a bunch of them. There is a whole bunch of them. So we are going to, there is some type of service tag right there. Or maybe it's just somebody signed off on it. This stuff up in here is gonna have to, I'm gonna have to find out. I can see I'm gonna have to replace the rope, whatever you want to call it, that controls this dial. and we're gonna have to figure out what's going on with it because it was not tuning. This thing here, the receiver thing here, was not tuning anything. You see how I'm spinning it right now. So we've got a whole bunch of cleaning to do. We've got a whole bunch of capacitors to replace. And I'm thinking about, look at how it's mounted on springs. Huh, pretty cool, actually. Good idea. You know, anything tube wise. That's why you'll see bass players' tube amps are mounted on those things. So I'm gonna have to take an inventory of capacitors here and put my order in to Antique Electronics in Plymouth, Michigan, and get us all new capacitors. We're gonna just completely replace all the capacitors. They are way past any type of expiration date you would be thinking of. So I've got a whole bunch of them to write down, and I think what I'm gonna do, and this will probably be the most costly part of this, I'm definitely gonna replace this this plug. Oh, look, is that what one would call death capacitor? I'm definitely gonna replace this plug. I have some nice replacement plugs for this stuff, and I will certainly fuse it as well. I believe that is, well, maybe not. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, I'm really interested to get started on this. I think I'm going to replace all the tubes because unlike my other radio, I can see on this rectifier tube, definitely has a nice cooked spot right there. That's a 5x4, and it definitely has a cooked spot on the bottom there. So I believe it's gonna need replacement, and I'm guessing, you know, it'd probably just be better to replace these. I'll have Mark test these for me. These are 6V6 push-pull amplifier right here. Two 6V6 tubes. Like I said, it's got 12 friggin' tubes in it. So I'm gonna definitely need some air, blow these things off, and figure out where we're at from there. Alright, I gotta go start writing some things down, so peace for now. But I'll probably pick it up and probably make one big long video of this thing. A lot of cleaning to do. But boy, it's gonna look cool when it's all done, right? So it's probably been a week since I was shooting a little video of this Zenith radio, and yeah, I get distracted really easily down here. So I figured what I'd do is I'm gonna kind of give you guys a little rundown of how I go about getting ready to take on one of these projects. This is my second radio, and then probably make this a part one. That way, kind of keep these videos a little bit shorter, down to like 15 minutes. So I went ahead and ordered my the capacitors I was going to need from Mark at Antique Audio in Plymouth. He's a very helpful guy. And I kind of, if you go to his website, what you can do is, you know, you can buy some of these capacitors in bulk. It's just, if you need, say you need 10 of them, you might as well get the whole 25 of them, right? Or what is it in here? Yeah, I think there's 25 in a pack. So some of these I got like 25, and then the other ones where I needed like 3 or 4 capacitors, I just bought like, you know, 4 to 6 of them at a time, and then we had to discuss, because we have some can capacitors on here. So I usually just kind of get myself organized in that route, and my other little boxes, which I have more capacitors in there, and then I've got some other boxes with resistors. Of course, I've got the syringes down here in case I feel the need for some Heron during the project. So this is probably a newbie move, but for me it's good. I am a newbie to this. This will be my second radio restoration. So what I do is I pull all the tubes for a couple reasons. One, I want to send them over, drop them off with Mark, and have him go ahead and test them and see how they are. Because I'll keep as many as I can original. 6v6 is, oh, that's just on the outside. It's a little dirty, but the rectifier looked a little, got a nice burn spot right there in the bottom, but who knows, it might still be okay. That is the 5x4 rectifier. So I put my tubes together so that I can take them over to him, and he's got all kinds of different tube testers. He's like, again, it's Antique Audio in Plymouth, Michigan. And Mark's got everything. He's a radio guy. He's not necessarily a guitar guy, but he does, he can talk about stuff like that. But he is definitely a radio guy. So I actually ordered myself a print just to see how Antique Electronic Supply does it. So for $8 they send you a print. Not bad. It's I did that one myself. This one's definitely clearer. But not really. It's not worth. Is it worth $8? Fuck no, it's not worth $8. So when I pull the tubes out, I write down where is where. And like I said, it's probably a newbie move, but I don't care. I am a newbie. And then I'm going to be cutting this cord here. A couple of things I need to take notice of on these Zenith radios. I've already found this out, that the rubber wire that they use tends to degrade and crack. And I've seen this over here. See if you guys can see some of this. So some of this stuff we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do to insulate it. So, the can capacitors. There's a 3-part can capacitor there, and then there's this one, which is just a 30 microfarad. But won't watch this when I pull the cover off. Ew. Think it's leaky? It's physically leaky. That's just which one is this? Yeah, this is just a 30 microfarad one, and then this one here is a three piece, whatever you want to call it. Let me pause this quick so that I can, well, I guess I can go ahead and flip it while I'm talking with you guys. So the other reason I get the tubes out, because it's easier to, because I want to flip it over. I'm not putting a bunch of weight on the tubes. Let's go inside this thing one last time before I'm not going to sit here and solder and have you guys watch me solder all this, because that would be boring. But there it is. We've got a lot of capacitors, some of which are, again, you've got physical goo coming out of them, which is, wow. That's the kind of stuff that, like in the wrecking business, you run across that and you get a environmental company to clean up. Again, with the rubber covered wire, we have to be careful about, what's going on there. Making sure it's not shorting against anything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this thing. Definitely, I've got definitely some work to do on this, the tuner and whatnot. Mark's got a knob that I need. He actually sells them, so I'm gonna get there's a piece, one of the knobs is missing, so he actually has them. He has, if you're a radio guy especially, Mark has everything radio. Like I said, I'm a guitar amp guy. Of course, I'm going to put a 1/4-inch jack in here. Because this is a 6v6 amplifier, which is, known to sound pretty good for guitars. So not only that, but I like to listen to my podcast. He's doing Bluetooth on everything now, which I'm not doing. I don't really care about Bluetooth. I guess it's convenient and it's cool and it's all that, but I'm not that into it to want to go ahead and do a Bluetooth. So I will probably, I don't know, probably start right up in this corner here and you know, I just desolder these and solder the new ones in one by one, and we'll recap the whole thing, and then we will fire her up and see where we're at. I'm really, I think this is going to be really cool. This is a bigger radio. The last one was a tabletop that I did, and you know, this one is a floor model. That floor model right there, you know, the plan for that has always been that I'm going to do, you know, a 112-inch speaker and like a Fender Champ circuit in there, guitar amplifier, because that one's gutted. There's nothing in it. So I might as well turn it into a guitar amplifier. I think that'll be pretty cool. The other thing I do is I go on YouTube and I watch guys such as Terry from D-Lab. Terry's a Michigan guy. He's also a radio guy. But he's doing, I noticed he's doing quite a bit more guitar amp stuff. So anyway, if you guys like you know, this stuff, Terry from D-Labs, and I believe he's in Kalamazoo, Michigan, or out that way somewhere. He definitely knows his stuff. And these Michigan guys, they all know each other, and I'm kind of been welcomed into their community. I'm really happy about that because I'll tell you what, the radio community is much more welcoming than the guitar amplifier community. So far, anyway. Alright, like I said, I think we'll make this a part one. Got my soldering iron. I changed my tip. A little bit heavier. Oh, I go 60-40 lead and tin solder. Why? Because that's what's in here. 1942. So, alright, I suppose the next video will probably be showing off my work and then turning this thing on and seeing how we do here. We already have an input jack right there, which we're just going to go ahead and turn that into a 1/4-inch jack. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I mean, it's going right where I need it to go. It's going exactly where I need it to go. So I might as well just use this right here. And all I got to do is put a 1/4-inch jack on there and put it back. It won't even look any different, so that'll be cool. Alright guys, see you on the next one. Peace.